Oh!
Look at this dude.
It's a jungle temple. Oh, yeah. Bro, stop. Oh, wait. What the? Ah! What the? Ah! This game sucks. Oh. Right. I hope you know what time it is, because if you see this hat, you might recognize it. But it's time to teach about some Bible stuff. Again, for the second time. Also, there's that one part in the last video where it was like oh yeah, I was like,
Oh my God!
Baba Booey. Baba Booey.
Double kill.
Oh, these are pretty cool bananas.
well, now that that's over with, we can start on the Bible stuff now. Yeah. Alright, so now we're to that part of the video where I start actually teaching stuff. So, I hope you're ready to either be bored or like be highly educated and very wise. Either of the ones could happen. I'm not even sure which one will, but it just depends on what kind of person you are or if you even care about this. Besides that, let's just hop into it, I guess. Yeah, so the first one is the Edenic Covenant. Okay, so basically, you know, God put Adam and Eve into the world, and they were like human. So they were like, wow, we're made in God's image, right? And yeah, they were. So this is so bad, I'm sorry. So basically, it's Adam and Eve, and you know, God put them on the world to take dominion of it, like to rule over it, and that's what this is all about. So God would be like, please take over the world and, like, you know, inhabit it and then take good care of it. And you know, they tried, at least for like the first like 3 chapters, until that, you know, that tree thing where it's like the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. They were like, look at this fruit, and she's like, ooh, ooh. Okay, yeah, that's an arm. Yeah, she took that, and then she like, yeah, but you try a piece, man. And then he ate it too, and you know what happens basically. But we're gonna get onto that right now. Okay, so the covenant right after that is the Adamic covenant. So yeah, basically, this is the covenant. You know, like that happens like right after. You know, we've already got past the part where God says, you know, like take over the world, but like not evil, but like. Let me rephrase. God said to take dominion of the world and rule over it and give it good life or whatever. And you know, that's what they tried to do, of course. But like I just said, they made a mistake because Satan was like a snake, and he did a little tomfoolery, and he just ended the life basically of them. So, you know, she takes the thing. Let me draw it real quick. She has ugly hair. It's the ugliest hair ever. She has her weird noodle arms, and she grabs the fruit, and she's like, I love the fruit. It's so yummy, and now I know about everything. now she grows another arm and gives another fruit to Adam, and he's like, I'm gonna eat this. This is so bad. But anyway, he takes that, they both take it, and they're like, I love this, and it just tastes good, and now I know everything. But what they learn is that they're naked, and they don't like it. Let's just draw Satan. I'm just gonna do my best slithery snake thing. Satan was like, eat this. Eat this. Eat this. Eat this. Let me fix this. Eat this. And yeah, so, they eat it. She's like, I like this. And then she gives it to Adam, of course. And then he's like, I like this too. And then, then they know that they're naked now. So they're like, oh, I'm scared. And they hide behind bushes. So they pretend it's like a bush. And then, God is like, let's just draw God as the sun. Because people say that God is the sun. So, yeah, he's the sun. He's like, I'm very upset. I don't like how you guys ate the fruit, so that's bad. Sorry, you did the sin. You did not obey my command. And of course his command was like, do not eat from this tree. So he was like, I don't like this. You guys did the bad thing. And they get in trouble, and then sin enters the world as consequence. And obviously sin brings, let me write this down. Sin brings death. And sin is death, okay? There's death, pain, suffering. And there's death, pain, suffering. That all happens from sin. Let me just draw that too. Okay, bam, sin. And then it's like that. Yeah, so sin causes all those things. And that's not necessarily a good thing. But one thing that God said from the in the thing was he will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and hers. He was saying that to Adam. And then he said at the end of that verse, you will strike his head, you will crush his head. Never mind. You will crush his head, snake, foot, snake head. And then foot, that's a foot. And the snake will strike his heel. So I'm gonna draw it too. It's like tooth. There's teeth. Yeah, there's the serpent. It was like, oh, my ankle. And yeah. So yeah, Adam would humanity, Christians would crush the head of the snake, which is Satan, and then Satan would only strike the heel of Christians, which isn't much compared to crushing his head. But he can try what he wants, but we are believers of Christ, as we know. At least I think we know. I know. Do you know? Who knows? Anyway, let's move on to the next thing. Okay, so the next covenant is the Noahic covenant. That's a funny thing to say. Noahic covenant. Okay, so basically, God was like, I hate sin. I hate everyone sinning, and sin's a big problem. And so it's it's really big, and so it's like humans are like, I love sin, I love sinning or whatever, and they just keep doing it, and it's just hopeless basically, and everyone just doing the worst things. So God decides to kill everybody. It's literally what he does, and he does it with water. So he kills everybody with water. But of course, one survivor and his family was Noah, and I'm gonna draw him with super long hair, and he's old. I don't know what kind of haircut this is, but okay. Yeah, okay. Noah and his big boat. This is not big boat, but like just pretend it's big. Yeah, big boat. And that was the ark. He built that with God's guidance, and he sailed the giant earth of water for like 40 days and 40 nights. That's a long time if you didn't know. Anyway, he rescued like a bunch of like animals, but it was mainly only his family who, it was only his family who survived, and one of every single animal on the planet at the time. Those things were saved, except for everyone else who all died. And the rest of the animals who, he only brought one of each animal, so basically every other animal was dead. So like, let's draw a giraffe. That's a giraffe. Anyway, that died too. So, unless it was on the ark, which was one, there had to be like one giraffe, and the one of each animal survived along with Noah's family. And after the floodwaters drained and whatever, like soaked up into the earth, I forgot what happened. Anyway, God made a covenant to Noah, saying that he would never wipe the face of the earth with death or destruction ever again. And that includes water. So he would not flood the earth with water ever again. And, so far he hasn't broke the covenant, and I don't think he ever will. So that's cool. So the next one is the Abrahamic covenant. I don't know if I spelled everything right, but I'm just gonna assume I do. Anyway, there was this guy named Abram, but he's named Abraham in our translation for some reason. I don't know what's wrong with Abram, but whatever. Anyway, he was this old guy who, I don't know what really happened. He had like a bunch of things happen. Like he, of course he sinned a bunch, and I think he had like problems having a child with his wife, so he slept with his like servant, I think. No, that happened, but like I'm not sure what happened before the covenant. I'm pretty sure this happened before the covenant. Anyway, so basically he was the guy, and God said to him one night that he would bring an entire nation out of him, an entire people, a population so big that it would be the amount of stars that are in the galaxy, which is a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a whole lot. Like that's a lot. That's a bunch. Like that's a huge amount. If you don't know how much that is, of course I don't know like exactly the amount, but that's a lot. If you don't know, that's a lot. A lot. He said he would give him land and a nation, a great nation with great land or whatever. And he would give him his blessing of his children. I don't know. So, yeah. Abram, we're gonna give him even longer hair. For some reason, longer than, I don't know why he's a ghost. He's a ghost now. Let's just draw a ghost. He's a ghost now. I'm not sure why. I will give you a great nation with land, with blessing. Okay. And then Abram is like, awesome. And so he basically starts a new generation of people, and they are then known as the Israelites, I think all of them are known as the Israelites from then on. I think. I'm not sure, but I think. Don't take points off of me for that, please. For anything I get wrong, don't take points off. Anyway, the next covenant on the list is the Mosaic Covenant. So I will type that right. Wrong tool. Anyway, I will type that right now. Okay. This is the part where Moses stands on top of that big mountain. It is Mount Sinai. And pretend there's like Moses. He's on top and he's like I got these 2 stone tablets, and they have laws on them, and he's standing on top of the mountain, and there's like people down here. Pretend these are people. These are not people at all. Like, this is literally just squiggles. Like, I don't think people look like mangled deformations of people. Anyway, he's got super long hair, and he also doesn't have a face for some reason. His hair is so long that it just flips over his head. But basically, God just let his wisdom spill through like Moses' mouth, and he said basically that people may not have other gods or idols, but only him, and that he is the only God, because he is. And he also said to keep the Sabbath holy, the Sabbath day. He wanted everyone to follow through with it and celebrate it as such. And he also said to keep his laws, commands, whatever he said on the tablets. He said to keep all of those within check and within order, to make sure that you do not sin. And they did that with sacrifices and rituals and tabernacles and temples and blah blah, all that stuff. They did that. So basically, yeah, that happened. He promised to do that. I don't really know. Yeah. So, Edenic covenant was the promise to give humans dominion over the earth, to rule it. And this covenant is the only bilateral covenant. Anyway, the Adamic covenant was the promise to redeem the innocence of believers of God. Redemption is basically the word. This is the first unilateral covenant. The next one is the Noahic. And this one was to okay, so the Noahic covenant was the promise to keep everyone on earth from sinning and dying forever, which is restraint, of course. And this is another unilateral covenant. I'm not getting special. Next one is the Abrahamic covenant. This one was the promise to restore the earth with God's people, and that was restoration. Anyway, it's another unilateral covenant. This covenant was the promise to separate God's people from the world and represent his kingdom on earth. And that was revealed. That was to reveal his kingdom. And again, another unilateral covenant. So basically, bilateral means two-sided covenant, and unilateral means one-sided covenant. I'm pretty sure you can tell which person was on the unilateral side, whoever was taking it responsibility. And of course, bilateral included both human and God. So, yeah, that stuff. Anyway, those are the covenants. We love covenants, don't we? But it was pretty cool making this, I guess. I don't really know what to say. Yeah. I'd like to give a shout out to my Bible teacher. Still the coolest guy, or at least the coolest teacher I've ever met. And still my favorite teacher. Don't tell any other teachers I said that. But shout out to him, because, he's pretty freaking awesome. Also, what's up, class? Whatever. Just, I don't know what to say. I mean, like, check out this popcorn though. Also, Lola, do you have any last words to say? No? Okay. She doesn't have anything to say, and neither do I, so, bye.